Is there present-day life on Mars? If there is, does it look and function like life on Earth? Mars is far away from Earth. Even when these two planets are closest, the distance between Earth and Mars is more than 200 times greater than the distance between Earth and the Moon. How can we learn about life on Mars when we are limited to studying samples collected on Earth? One way scientists approach this challenge is to look for environments on Earth that are similar to environments inferred to exist on Mars. Mars is cold, dry, and windy. The atmosphere is thin and contains mostly carbon dioxide, allowing dangerously high levels of ultraviolet radiation to reach the planet's surface. The Martian surface environment is so severe that scientists seek out extreme locations on Earth for comparison. These extreme environments are considered analogues for Mars. Biologists and geologists study life in extreme environments on Earth in order to evaluate the possibility of life on Mars. Given harsh surface conditions on Mars, the subsurface of Earth is an important analog for potentially habitable environments below the Martian surface.
What's that reading? Is it just over 20? The scientists who have come together to work on this Deep Life team are an unusual group in that they are willing to work in unusual settings in the field. This is a group of people who are explorers, people who have a need to know, a need to go places that other people have not gone, an insatiable appetite for asking questions that are at the frontier of the current understanding of what it means to be living versus not living. Back in 1999, a group of scientists who had been previously working together on small projects, and many of whom were actually very close friends of one another, had a conversation about working collaboratively in the deep gold mines in South Africa. The deep South African gold mines are an unusual window into the Earth's crust, because there are commercial excavations that go down to vertical depths of as much as 4 kilometers below the surface, and coming off those vertical shafts there are a series of horizontal drives that are used to access the gold ore, which also allows scientists an opportunity to actually get beneath the surface and walk around and look at not only the rocks but the fractures and the fluids that are intersected by those commercial mine tunnels. We made the decision that this was an important research target for understanding habitats for life in the deep subsurface, and we proposed a large collaborative project to the National Science Foundation. At the end of that project, we began to think about how the work we were doing in the subsurface might be used to inform us about working and exploring the subsurface of other planets. The first planet that we're likely to have the opportunity to do that on is Mars. So we began to think about where we could go in the subsurface of Earth, in addition to South Africa, where we might have conditions that more closely resembled conditions on Mars. And so our attention shifted from South Africa to the Canadian Arctic. Many of the members of the team that had been working in South Africa got together, wrote another proposal for funding, and that proposal was submitted to NASA as part of the NASA Astrobiology Institute. We were very excited indeed when that project was funded, and we realized we would be able to explore the deep subsurface looked for evidence of life within and below the permafrost in the Canadian Arctic. The group of scientists that came together and proposed studying deep subsurface life in the Canadian Arctic were drawn from many different institutions in both the US and Canada. In particular, scientists at Indiana University, Princeton University, the University of Toronto, University of Tennessee, Michigan State University, and Lawrence Berkeley National Lab were the original proponents and are the individuals that have been actively studying samples that we've brought back, primarily from Lupin Gold Mine, which is a mine very close to the Arctic Circle in the Nunavut territories of Canada. In this video, you're going to meet and hear from not only the senior scientists that helped put together this proposal, but many of the younger scientists working with them. Some already have their PhD and they're called postdoctoral scientists. Some of them are still in graduate school and they'll simply be identified as graduate students. Some of them are undergraduates. The team of people is informally called the Deep Life Team. It is one of 16 teams within the NASA Astrobiology Institute who are funded to seek evidence on Earth and begin the process of exploring not only our solar system, but the adjacent parts of the universe for the kinds of planetary bodies, the kinds of materials that could allow for origination and evolution of life.